What it do? It's your boy, Illuminated D, you know what I'm saying? We back with another one. Today is July 19th, 2024, and we're back with another one. So, today I just want to jump right in the topic, and I want to talk about ignorance is bliss. I was listening to somebody recently. It was a financial advisor, and they were pretty much just telling, the general public about LLCs and setting up your financial stability so that you can prosper in these inflationary times. Now, we're not going to be talking about finances today. That's a topic for a different situation. I'll bring in a financial analyst and we can sit down and actually have that conversation. But today I wanted to talk about ignorance is bliss. So the financial analyst was basically saying that just because you don't have the information doesn't mean that the information isn't there. And if you get taxed, if you get a lien put on your property, if something happens, you can't be mad at the fact that your ignorance caused this to happen, which means the lack of knowledge, the ignorance, is the reason why so many people perish. So, I'm not going to go too deep into the story of what happened, but I want to tell you all that sometimes we have to change our mindset. If we have the truth right in front of us, the truth cannot be spoken any other way than the truth. Now, I get there's different dynamics of how circumstances happen, but if there's a clear answer to the problem that is at hand, you can't beat around the bush, because if you're talking to a professional, right? And I would like to deem myself as a professional individual. Now, I get it. Most people don't like the professional individual. They don't like it because they're boring. They don't necessarily do the spontaneous things. I do spontaneous things sometimes for individuals that I actually like. But the problem is if a professional, an individual that actually puts time and effort into what they're trying to get to, their vision, their goals, their aspirations, it can be man or woman. You can't beat around this bush on certain topics using an ignorant mindset, because what it tends to do is it tends to push people away from you. And I would say we have to change our mindset, because our mindset and our energy that we put out and our tone of response. See, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Our tones of response is what pushes people away from us. Now, I get it. They say men talk with a stern voice sometimes, right? See, what I was looking at, somebody told me that they said men are the problem to all the causes that are happening in the world today. And I said, okay, well, listen, if you're going to break down history to me, I get it, because history is not perfect. History was even less perfect hundreds of years ago, because think about it, we just got street lights in the 1900s, official LED street lights, we just got them. And we just got cell phones in 2007. So if we have instant knowledge at our fingertips, and we have all this technology that can take us to the next level, that can put us in a new standing, and then we have all this instantaneous knowledge, and then we get faced with different circumstances, we get faced with trials and tribulations, we have the answers at our fingertips, and people still choose ignorance over logical over a logical standing that the dictionary clearly states they would rather veer off from the conversation and tap into something else and try to use that as a dynamic to the basis of why they're in their struggle, or why they're not where they want to be in life, or why the opposite sex is the bad person in all of the dealings. Because we got women that say it's all the men's fault, and we got men that say that it's all the women's fault. But the truth of the matter is, like I was talking to Pops, and he said, it can't be only the man's fault because of these reasons. And somebody told me, well, it can't only be the woman's fault because of these reasons. But you know what, I was looking at this, and it was like, well, if you go commit a crime, if you go do a robbery, right? You go rob the bank, and the man is there, he got the gun, and the woman is there, and she got the whip. Logically, what's gonna happen? When the police come, if they get you, right? Because most bank robbers don't get away. Some do. The highly trained professionals potentially get away. But on a vast majority, you're not gonna get away, right? So what happens? The police come, they come in, run up in there, they taking him. You think they gonna be like, oh well, listen, we're sorry, you know what I'm saying, you weren't involved in this because you drove. You weren't involved in this because, no. They're gonna say you were an accessory to the fact, and you helped him because you assisted in the crime, right? So let's stop putting all this he, she, and let's go ahead and talk facts. Let's talk these facts. I want to talk facts today. Ignorance is bliss, because we choose to live in this fairy tale mindset that is not reality. We got people out here buying Louis, Gucci, Birkin. The Rothschilds are not wearing that shit. I mean, they might wear that shit. I mean, excuse my language, because they might get it for free. But on a high key, they probably just got their Richard Mille on. They probably just wearing a nice watch, because you can tell a lot by a person's watch. It's not about their clothes, it's by what you got on your wrist. And it's not for telling time either. It's a statement. You see what I'm saying? A bust down doesn't hold more value than a plain Jane. So what I'm trying to say is that ignorance is bliss, because there's a thin line between reality and what's real, and there's a thin line between delusion. And when I say delusion, I mean unrealistic factored sets, mindsets that don't make sense. And I just say, as a community, as individuals that are listening to these videos, we have to change our mindset. We can't be the ones out here living in the ignorance. We have to be the light. We have to be the individuals that are shepherds, shepherdettes for the men and the women. You feel me? Shepherds and shepherdettes. You feel me? We have to be the light. We have to be the one leading the people to the right mindsets. And how do you do that? You probably ask, how do I lead them to the right mindset? Well, the truth of the matter is, the only way to lead is to lead by example. You become the light first. See, more times than not, an ignorant person, right? An ignorant person or a down bad person, when shit gets hard, they want to take you with them. They want to take you with them. So they might try and argue with you. But we got to be better individuals. We have to first realize, notice, accept what's happening, right? Because we can't be delusional. We can't be in denial about what is happening in front of us. It can be conversation from your mans, from your from your friends, for anybody. It can be anybody that you got a relationship that you talk with on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis or whenever you talk. We have to realize what we're talking about, right? And if it is in delusion, if it is using ignorance, then we can't put the fuel on the fire. Sometimes we have to dead the conversation and keep it pushing and focus on individuals that want to be better, want to do better, and are willing to listen and are receptive to factual information. You know, yesterday I actually learned something. I learned that men and women think totally different. I mean, we all knew that, but I learned the dynamic that women and men think totally different. And it doesn't mean that the reality isn't the same. We just have a different way of receiving information. So we think the same, but we have a different way of receiving, right? And they say men are givers, women are receivers, right? But the truth of it is we're all receiving information. We're all receivers. Now, if we're speaking on the intimate subject, then men are givers and women are receivers. But when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to everyday lifestyle, we're all receivers. And what we're choosing to receive, what we're choosing to be receptive to digest into our mindset, into our subconscious, which would ultimately manifest the reality of what we're going through into existence. We have to be conscious of the conversations and the words that we speak out of our mouth because we can manifest them into reality. Now, this is basically the secret. But the secret is just the law of attraction. You are and you attract who you are most like and who you are. So if you want me to say it in simpler terms, birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. So this reality that I keep experiencing on social media is just not reasonable because everything is now backwards. See, it used to be really family oriented, but in today you have to realize that the dynamic has shifted. The baby boomers and Generation X were a total different time in history. And their mindsets were different because they had to use a survival instinct to make it through their reality. We're in the same times and history's repeating itself and going back in the same way because look at what they did to the presidents back then and look at what they just did to Donald Trump. And then you got to look at the marketing situation. You got to look at inflation. Look at what happened in all those times. And we have to start using factual information, legit knowledge to get us out of these learned behaviors. As my cousin would say, these learned behaviors, taught bad influence, and change our mindset. And people would ask, well, how do I change my mindset? I've already hit rock bottom. Nah, you didn't hit rock bottom. You just not trying as hard as you could. See, rock bottom means that you didn't wake up this morning. And if you see in this video and you woke up this morning and you have an opportunity, you have an opportunity to be a better individual today than you were yesterday. You got an opportunity to go and do something that you ain't never done before. You got an opportunity at life again. You got an opportunity to go get some money. You got an opportunity to go make a play. You got an opportunity to go out here and have a great day. You don't have to choose war. You can choose peace. You don't have to choose anger. You can choose happiness. You don't have to choose sadness. You can choose empathy. And what I'm saying is that ignorance is bliss because ignorance would tell you that whatever is in front of us is the reality. But the truth is that what we were taught isn't the reality, and what we want to get to in life or where we want to be has to be learned, has to be studied, has to be tried, failed, repeated with repetition until you succeed. So, with that being said, I just want to let you know that you have an opportunity, and the fact that ignorance is bliss, ignorance is so bliss, it should be easy to identify. And when you do identify it, be the light. Be the light. Be the change. Be the change that you want to see first, and then your environment will change. The environment, the aura, the energy around you will change because you changed. You have to start looking at it and holding yourself accountable and looking at it as if, well, if I change, then my circumstance will change because I won't allow certain information to even be able to come into my inner existence. I won't even be able to have these type of certain conversations. I'm not just gonna pop a bottle. I'm gonna study before I pop a bottle. I'm gonna get some new knowledge before I pop a bottle. I'm gonna make sure that I got double the cash before I go buy that Gucci. You have to change your mindset first, because I want you all to look at it. As you start watching these videos and you start changing your dynamic and starting to look at life as what it really is, when you start reading through the book, right? You start reading through it and you start succeeding, it's gonna feel like people are tugging. It's gonna feel like circumstances are tugging at you, but that's not saying that you're moving in the wrong direction. That means that you're now being tried and tested by the universe, by God, to see if this is what you really want. Because oftentimes when we want change, we have to get tested to see if our mindset even lines up with the change that we're saying that we want, or with the mindset of who we want to be. Because most times, if you really want to be successful, the person that you have to become can no longer exist, because the mindset that individual is dwelling in can't survive where you're going. So realize the new you has to be the best version of yourself. You know, when you get that fresh cut or when you get your hair done, you know how that feels? It feels so good, right? You feel like a new person, right? You feel like a new person. You feel good, you feel energetic, you feel motivated. And then once it starts growing out, you might lose a little bit of confidence. Well, that means that you need to make sure that you have enough money allocated so that every Tuesday you can get a haircut. Every Friday you can get a haircut. It doesn't have to necessarily be every Tuesday, because you might want to get it at the end of the week so that you're fresh for the weekend. You see what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you allocate in the right residuals, the right mindset, the right whatever it is that you want to do, and allocate it the right way and manage it properly. And then after you get what you ask for, after you attain what it is that you ask for, you need to start focusing on your management skills and learning how to maintain it. Because it's too easy to get what we ask for, because we always say it. We always do it. And this is why ignorance is bliss, because we'll be so ignorant to say, oh, I want her so bad. Or you want him so bad. You want him so bad, but guess what? You get him and you don't even know what to do to maintain him. How can you maintain something that you don't properly manage? You can't maintain something that you don't properly manage. So that means that we have to look at the dynamic of what we're asking for, and realizing that the things that we're asking for don't always come with sunshine and rainbows. If you want to be a multimillionaire, it's not going to come with sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have to step outside the box and solve people's problems. If you're not solving a problem, how are you going to expect to be a multimillionaire? If you want love and you don't properly manage it by having proper communication doesn't mean speaking over your partner. Proper communication doesn't mean out-talking your partner, being disrespectful. Proper communication means being receptive. And sometimes you have to agree to disagree, but it doesn't mean do all the extra kitty antics in order to try and get your point across and not let them get their point across. You know why? Because that's not maturity. And if you're dealing with a real immature individual, they just gonna cut you off after they see that negative energy come out of you. Because it's a waste of time. Because if that's what you gotta deal with, regardless of your age, you can be a kid. It's all about respect. You see what I'm saying? People nowadays don't have enough respect, and I would say their ignorance takes over because common sense isn't so common these days. But I want to let you all know that this isn't a bash session. This isn't something to bring you down. This is to tell you that you have to identify the mindsets of the individuals that you're having conversations with. You have to identify your mindset of the choices that we make. We have to identify the mindset of putting other people in positions that we've chosen to be in, and holding ourselves accountable just as much as we hold our partners accountable, holding our communities accountable, so that we can all level up. We have to level up at some point because we don't get forever. And remember, if you don't become the light, then that means your child or the next person in your lineage lineup has to do it. And if they don't do it, then we'll forever be in darkness. And the whole point is to illuminate our lives, illuminate our families' lives, illuminate the lives of the individuals that are coming into our life to be a better influence, so that they can be a better influence, so that we can be a better overall influence for our environment, our culture, and our energy that surrounds our atmosphere. Because we all want to be successful, we all want to be somewhere in life. But in order to do that, you got to do something that you ain't never done before. And that's the reason that we doing this right here, right now. Everybody be blessed, be safe. I want to thank you everybody for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I want to let you know that I really appreciate y'all 100%. And as soon as we get the channel booming, I promise we're going to go ahead, we're going to start the email up. You can ask questions, and we're going to start bringing other individuals into the conversations. We're going to bring the subscribers into the conversations. And what we're going to do is we're going to work as a team, and we're going to help blow each other's channels up. You feel me? That's what we're going to do. So whenever y'all ready, and y'all say, hey, I want to start my channel too. If you subscribe to the channel, all we got to do is just have a conversation online. And then we going to get you booming, and then we going to express content in a different way, and we going to all be successful together, all right? Everybody be blessed. It's a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't do nothing dumb. Don't drink and drive. Don't beat your spouse. Don't beat your pets. Don't do drugs. Don't do stupid that's going to land you in a position that you can't actually get out of. If you need help, call somebody. Call somebody. If you don't drink and drive, don't do no dumb, all right? Be blessed, be safe, and have a great weekend. And we'll be back soon, and we're going to chop it up some more, all right? Don't let ignorance catch you in the bliss. You be the change. You be the light. We out.